Hi there. We've been sharing some of our wake up stories, and those are those times in our lives where the events that occurred, the decisions that we made, were a turning point of some sort in our lives. And I wanted to share one of my wake up stories with you. It was about 15 years ago. I was living in Western Massachusetts, and we had, as a family, one thing after another happen, mostly around physical ailments and physical injuries. It started that year with my then husband having a car accident, then my father having septuple bypass surgery, which was very trying for the whole family, and I went and took care of him during his recovery. Then we also had my mother had a serious fall, and she was unable to leave her house for about 8 months. My son broke his ankle while jumping on a trampoline, and actually then a year later he tore his ACL, and that was another addition to this period of time. My daughter, on the day that we were moving into a new house, and her appendix burst. And this was all topped by my then husband being diagnosed with a benign brain tumor. But still, even though it was benign, it was a very scary time. We didn't know what was going on. He was having seizures and all sorts of memory and physical problems. And I remember there was a time when I was gathered with a group of women. I was leading this group at the time. There's about 72 women gathered in a circle. And I remember sitting in that circle, and one of the women, actually several of the women, had said, "I can't believe you're even here with all this going on in your life." And this sense of peace came over me. It's the only way I can describe it. When I finally realized that this was life, there was no one going to escape these kinds of things. That if it hadn't happened yet to someone in the room where they had a lot of major crises, then it would happen because it's part of our journey here on the planet. And for me, there was such a peace in knowing this, and I remember sharing that with the women in the circle, that it really wasn't a time to pull in. It was a time to understand that I was not in control, that there were forces so much greater than me at work here, and that the things that I judged to be traumatic and horrific, what if they weren't? And it was the first time I'd really thought about it in that particular way. So that was a big turning point for me. The control freak is still a part of who I am, and I love her and tell her to go take a seat in the back sometimes, but I have much more peace and realize that I'm not a victim of these things. This is just life.